My name is Bob Thorne and I'm a Senior Applications Engineer here at Radbend. And today I'm here to tell you about the new features of Radbend 2015. Now on screen you can see a list of all the features that have been enhanced in this release of software. So during this presentation I will take you through each of the features and give you some more information about exactly what's been changed.
In Radbend 2015 we have made a clear distinction between the current program settings and the machine default settings. Now the current program settings can be changed at any time and stored within the program. But if these are different to the machine default settings, then these are highlighted in orange to make it absolutely clear that they've been changed. Now you can save the current program settings away as your machine default settings, but you will need Radbend System Manager rights in order to do this. Okay, let me show you how this works. If I go to my Tools Options dialog, you see I've got some settings here. If I change one of the settings and OK that, the next time I go in to this particular dialog, you will see that Radbend is warning me that the current setting is different from the machine default setting. Now I could store this as my new machine default, but I would need to be a Radbend System Manager to do this. Now if I load my settings from default, then it will revert to how it was before. Print Options Interface. In Radbend 2015 we have improved the Print Options interface to include the management of template and image files which are needed for the generation of reports and print options. Now the settings are collected from your current situation. Template files are stored in the Reports folder and settings in settings.tcl. Now the OK button, which is only active if you are a system manager, will save these settings in a file, reports.thumbnail, removing the need for template files. Compile Options interface. In Radbend 2015 we have improved the Compile Options interface to include management of template and image files needed for the 2D and 3D NC output options. Again, the OK button, only active if you are a systems manager, will save these settings in a machine-specific file. And this file is stored in your data directory. Again, this removes the need to have template files in the default NC output directory. Managing geometry files. In Radbend 2015, it is now possible to directly edit the geometry files that describe the press brake in either Radbend 2D or 3D. After these compound models have been loaded and then edited in Radbend 3D, the user can go back using the geometry utility and apply these changes by exporting the model as an SMX file and overwriting the existing file. So here we are in Radbend. I'm going to show you how we can edit the model. So if I select the press brake, right click and go Properties, you can see here that I've got a dialog box showing me the model that's used for my press brake, but I can't edit it. That's because I'm not a systems manager, so I'm going to go into Administration Tools and make myself the Radbend System Manager. If I go back to the Properties dialog box, you can now see I've got an edit option against the machine model. If I select the edit option, this will take me to the geometry utilities and allow me to edit this model. Here you can see my 3D model of my press brake. And then in Radbend 2015 you'll see these three new options here for editing geometry in Radbend 3D or 2D. I can edit individual elements or I can edit the compound model of the press brake. So if I select to edit the compound model in Radbend 3D, you'll see that by selecting this button it's taken me to a Radbend 3D session and I can now edit these components in the normal way. Obviously this requires a Radbend 3D system available on your PC. Once you're happy with the changes to your model, you simply re-export the model, overwriting the existing file. Now beware, if you do this, this could have an effect on the way that Radbend works, so ensure that you change the model in the correct way. Heal tools. In Radbend 2015 there is a new option to use Radbend 3D to create heal tools by using 3D Boolean operations on the tool profile and the heal profile. If Radbend CAD-CAM is installed, a new button appears on the Heal Tool utility, allowing you to edit these profiles in Radbend 3D. Once you have completed your edit, the user then just exports this model from Radbend 3D as an STL file and overwrite the existing tool geometry. Okay, let me show you how this works. So I'm going to start the tool editor in Radbend and select the profile that I want to make a heal tool from. So in the tool editor I can say create heal tool. This now gives me some parameters that I can adjust. So if I just fill in some of these fields, giving the size and shape of my heal tool. You'll see down here the new button that says Edit 3D Part in Radbend. By selecting this, this will start my Radbend task. Now obviously Radbend CAD-CAM has to be installed on the system for this to work. Now in Radbend 3D you can see the two profiles that are intersecting to create the heal tool. I can go in and I can edit either of these profiles in the normal way in Radbend 3D. I'm just going to add a little extra geometry here and create myself a new heal tool. Once that's complete, I can take that back to 3D. I can see what that looks like, and then I can perform a Boolean operation intersecting the two elements of the heal tool, giving me my final heal tool profile. All that's left to do now is to export this back to my Radbend tool database, and I can do this as an STL file. Now bear in mind that I will overwrite my current heal tool if I have one of the same name. Machine File Editor GUI. The Machine File Editor, which was introduced in Radbend 2014 Service Pack 1, has been enhanced in this 2015 version of Radbend. There are new tabs for the controller, X, R and Z axis settings, and options to change and import tool databases. Okay, here in Radbend I'm going to edit the machine tool file. Now I would need to be a Radbend system manager to do this, but here you can see the additional tabs in this file to allow me to edit the various machine properties. Now we do strongly recommend you don't edit these unless you're absolutely sure you want to do the changes, because any changes here could affect the way that Radbend works. You will see in this release of Radbend we've made many changes to the system interface for various options. Here we have three. We've improved the GUI for the Tool Systems Editor, the Fingerstops Editor, and we've introduced a GUI for backup and restore of machine changes. Okay, let me just show you where these are. So you can see under the upper tool system I now have a GUI which will allow me to export and import tool systems. Likewise, I've got a GUI for exporting and importing fingerstop sets. And then finally, under administration tools, I have a GUI now which will allow me to back up and restore press file changes. Reuse of tool setups. In Radbend 2015 you can now save tool setups for later use in different programs. You can see here a Radbend setup with some tools already loaded. I'm going to go into Tools, Save Tool Configuration. I'm going to save those tools away and then we'll start a new session and reuse those tools. So having saved those tools away, I'm just going to go to a new Radbend session. Okay, so let's open up a similar model. So in this case I'm looking for a SAP file. There's the SAP file, let's open that up. Now Radbend is asking me if I want to open that using Radbend 3D, so I've accepted yes, and I have my part now loaded into Radbend. So if I select my machine tool, I can then go and reload the tools that I saved previously. So I go to Open Tool Configuration, select the tool settings that I saved. Radbend is now asking me if I want to reuse those tools for this current model. And I say OK to that. So these tools are now being used to bend this model. Hemming. In Radbend 2015, the user has more control over the hemming process by specifying the central face as being either above or below. Right, it makes much better sense to actually show you this. So here you can see I've got a job with a hem. I'll just form the first bend and then I'm going to actually create the hem itself. But as you can see here, the configuration is not great for this particular final bend. So it would be nice to be able to control which side was up. So again, I can come into the hem and I now have the new option of going to the handling, part orientation. Currently the central face is below. I'm going to change it so that the central face is above. If I re-simulate this bend, you'll see that it's a much better position for creating that final bend.